Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I've had some technical problems with the stream. I'm not sure why. But today's a rough day. I mean, it's just a very, very rough day. And what's rough about it is this whole thing with Rush today just really caught me off guard. I don't know if I'm the only one that has happened to or happened with, but it really caught me off guard today. And what caught me off guard about it is because I've been listening to Rush over the last year. Hey, Mike. I've been listening to Rush over the past year a lot more than I've ever listened to Rush. I mean, a lot more. And especially since the election. And when I've listened to him, he has sounded great. No issues, nothing. I mean, he's got his energy about him. He's got his creativity. I've been having technical problems on my stream, guys. So I'm gonna double check here. Am I on, Kath? Because I've got 7 people in the chat, but you can't see me. I don't know where you are. Oh yeah, you guys can see me. They say I'm on. Okay, I'm on, Mike. Am I live? If I'm on live, give me a 1, guys. Oops, tripping over stuff. If you could give me a 1 if I'm on live, you can see and hear. Okay. 1. Okay, good. Thank you. I was having trouble with OBS trying to go live. Okay, good. All right. So I'm just on the back porch here, guys. I'm usually in my studio, but I was having some computer problems today and couldn't get live. No, but like I was saying, I mean, I've been listening to Rush so much, and he sounded so good and creative and everything. And I got to tell you, people think doing a radio show is, yeah, this is my backyard, is easy. A 3-hour radio show. It's not. When you do a radio show for 3 hours, you get off the air, it's exhausting. And for Rush to be able to do that while he was going through all of this treatment and through the stress of having, this terrible diagnosis and everything is amazing. He was able to pull that off. And, I would tell Steve all the time, when I'm listening to Rush, I would not be able to tell that he was even sick, listening to him. And that's why when I heard the news today, it really caught me off guard. I really wasn't expecting it. I really wasn't. But I'll tell you, the thing about Rush, it's very interesting, his importance to a lot of things, right? Radio, talk radio, of course, and politics. And, Rush, I mean, this is what you gotta think about with Rush. Think about it now. How many talk radio hosts are there, like me, and podcasters in America today? I mean, think about it, right? Think about it. And everyone is doing a variation of what Rush started doing in the 80s. That's amazing. There's a similar thing with Howard Stern with FM morning shows. Like every FM morning show is trying to do what he's doing, poor imitations of it. And I wouldn't say that we imitate, but Rush started really a trend and a format change. Before Rush was doing syndicated talk, before he was doing it, there was some syndicated talk radio here and there, and there was a lot of local talk radio. He didn't invent talk radio. But what he did is he made conservative talk radio mainstream. And most radio stations that were doing talk radio before Rush started doing it, because of the fairness doctrine, were doing shows like Dr. Laura, right? Advice shows, cooking shows, really, really boring, generic talk. And he made conservative talk radio mainstream. And when you have Just I mean, I don't think you'd be able to count how many radio talk show hosts or podcasters have sprung out because of what Rush was doing. So I mean, that's absolutely insanely amazing that somebody could do that. And I heard President Trump on Fox today with Harris Faulkner, and it was amazing. It was, it was the first time we've really heard Trump. I saw him the other day on President's Day when I went up to Mar-a-lago, but it's the first time we've really heard him talk. And it was an interview. He was on the phone on Fox, and he was talking about Rush. And what really surprised me about that is that they didn't know each other for very long. I thought, and I would imagine most people assume, I just assumed that Rush and Trump had been friends for years and years and years, and they actually became friends after the campaign started in 2015. And he said he came down the escalator, and Rush was out there saying that he was going to win, and he called him up, and they became friends after that. And that's amazing to me. Didn't you guys assume that they knew each other for years? I mean, up in Palm Beach, they both lived up there forever, and Mar-a-lago is right down the street from Rush's house. It's like really like walking distance, He hasn't looked great on the Ditto cam. Well, that'll happen when you're going through chemo, right? But I didn't have the Ditto cam, but I did see him a couple times. He didn't look as bad as you would expect somebody to look who was going through that, But if you go, I'm not going to go through the article or anything. I might tomorrow. I just don't feel like it's appropriate to do it now. But the Huffington Post headline is appalling. They have a headline about the death of Rush that's just appalling. Trump and Rush were going to be neighbors practically for the next few years. Yeah. Well, they've been neighbors for years because Trump has been at Mar-a-Lago for a long time. I know, Maria. Am I the only one who was, surprised by the news today? I mean, when you listen to him, could you tell that he was sick? Not really. I know he wasn't there every day, but the days he was there, I was blown away. The days that he was there, and it's not just when you go on the radio, it's not just like, okay, I'm here and take calls. You've got to. It takes a lot of energy. It takes creativity and everything. And I don't think if I was going through what he had been going through, I don't think I'd be able to do it like that. Would you guys? Imagine going to work like nothing was wrong when you're going through. You have that diagnosis, which was a terminal diagnosis. Yeah, you remember listening to him when he was sick, yeah? Yeah, February 2nd was the last day. And was that show eventful? Yeah. Steve Bannon and me. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do on that show in the future. They haven't announced it. Well, the tweet from Snerdley the other day was an indication that something was going on. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty shocked by it. I mean, I got to tell you, and I'm not somebody that listens every day to Rush. I really don't. I've listened a lot this past year after he made his announcement, but I wasn't. I know a lot of you listen every day, and I'm not going to pretend that I was, because I was not an everyday regular listener. But it's pretty amazing. Well, thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate that. I was having some tech issues earlier on. I'm streaming now directly on YouTube. I use a third-party app when I live stream. That's my cat. And she wants me to pet her. And I was having some trouble earlier. That's why it took me so long to get live. So I apologize for all of that. And I appreciate you guys sticking with me, because I was having a lot of tech issues. Mark Stein is the best fill-in guy in radio history. Yeah. Why would they say bad things about him? You're talking about Huffington Post because they're liberals. That's why. Yeah. I like Mark Stein. I like Mark Stein. He's very good. I mean those are some tough shoes to fill. Mark Stein only likes to work 2 days a week. I don't know about that. He does have a very good sense of humor, and he has very interesting insight. But I mean, I love Mark Stein a lot, but I don't know if he can handle that 5 days a week if you like him so much. Where in Ohio am I originally from? Columbus. Columbus. Yeah, he's good. Mark Stein's very good. Great sense of humor, great insight. I like Mark Stein a lot. Yeah, yeah. You want me to do a road trip show with Kathy? The beach did me good the other day at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, I took Kathy down to the beach today. Kathy had a doctor's appointment, and her doctor's down by the beach, so we went by the beach. We were actually at the beach today when we um, heard the news about Rush. Thank you for the thumbs up. I thank you. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're not subscribed, and click the notification bell. No, this is a rough day. You know, Steve, he was good friends with Rush when he was in New York. He took the news pretty hard. And I don't know how much Steve's. It's kind of hard for Steve. Because all his friends it's getting to that age where his friends are passing away all the time. He doesn't like to deal with it or talk about it so much. I can kind of understand that. Yeah, those palms are my privacy fence for my neighbors behind me. Only Trump could fill Rush's shoes. I doubt Trump would want to do a 3-hour radio show, or if he'd be allowed to do it. Well, no, he could do it. He can do anything he wants. He's not a public official. He's not running for office right now. But if he announced he was running, he wouldn't be able to do the radio show. Mark Stein knows more about America than many Americans. I would say more than most Americans. Rush was never that healthy. He always had health issues. Really? I did not know that. Yeah, I was talking about that, and I heard President Trump call in with Harris Faulkner, and I was surprised. Harris Faulkner is a big Trump fan, and that I was so glad he called in. And that was the first time we've heard President Trump since he left office in any type of interview. That was President Trump's first interview. I was talking to Steve before I went live here on YouTube. Do you think it's possible that Rush recorded an endorsement for 2024 for President Trump for running in re-election in 2024? Would that surprise you at all? It wouldn't me. Todd Herman, he's good too. Everyone that fills in for Rush is good, or they wouldn't be filling in for Rush. They're all good. But the thing about it, it's very tough. The Mexican guys on Levin, yeah, I don't know. I heard Levin was really broken up. Levin, I heard Levin on Fox, and if I heard him right, he said many years ago, 20 or some years ago, he had a heart attack, and Rush paid his hospital bill. Isn't that amazing? At Cleveland Clinic. Well, it's hard. The thing about who can replace Rush Limbaugh? No one can replace Rush Limbaugh. It's just not possible to replace Rush Limbaugh. It just can't happen. Let me get some of this, because I wanted to read some things to you. And I was having so many technical issues. Let me get my iPad. Oh, my wife locked me out of the house. She locked the back door. I'm on the back porch. And she locked me out. I'm waiting for her to let me back in. Can you get my iPad? It's in my backpack. Star Wars? Yes. Yeah, the one I take to work in the mornings. Can you grab my iPad out of there? I don't have my hands free. No, I just want to read some stuff off of the internet, and I'm going to look it up. Yeah, the problem I was having was the third-party app I stream on. That's why I was having problems. No, I'm fine now. I wanted to read some things to you. It wasn't YouTube. It was a third-party app I use called Streamlabs is what I live stream on. all the time. I don't use the YouTube app to stream on because with Streamlabs you get a better connection. And there's something going on with that app. But I was going to, when I was going to do the stream in my studio, I was going to bring up some things that I wanted to go over with you guys about Rush. Let me see here. And I want to pull up the Huffington Post, because this was, I wasn't going to share this, but I think it's important too. Savage has been silent on it. Well, Savage said those terrible things about Rush a while back about the, you remember that? I mean, that was really awful what he said. Okay, here's the Huffington Post headline. I mean, this is disgusting. Bigot, misogynist, homophobe, crank, Rush Limbaugh dead. I mean, you know, this just really shows you, these are, at the Huffington Post, these are godless people. You know, these are just godless people. I mean, listen, this is the Huffington Post article. Rush Limbaugh, a talk radio pioneer who saturated America's airwaves with cruel bigotries, lies, and conspiracy theories for over 3 decades, amassing a loyal audience of millions and transforming the Republican Party in the process, has died. You know, I mean, for them to have that kind of headline is just disgusting. This is Huffington Post. They have a whole section here. Decades of hate. A full accounting of Limbaugh's lies and exaggerations, his racism, his homophobia, and his Islamophobia, and his sheer cruelty could fill books and have, but even a cursory overview of his lowlights make his prejudice clear. Now, none of this is true. He's not a misogynist. He's not an Islamophobe or a homophobe. But even if he was, is this appropriate when a man has just died? I mean, that's just not, it's not even they have no class, and they're godless. I mean, that's just outrageous for them to talk that way. You know? And I wonder when they wrote that article, yeah, what racism? What racism was he ever involved in? Now, he had a lot of controversies they brought up to him, you know. You know, what liberals what liberals call homophobia, racism, all these things, anyone who disagrees with them politically, they're one of these things, you know? You know, I mean, that's basically it. You disagree with them, you're a homophobe. You disagree with them, you're a racist. You know, the cancel culture is not new. Yeah, well, you know, all the birds have flown south to Florida this time of year. You know? I don't think so. I don't think Trump wants to do a 3-hour radio show. I don't think so. But I'll tell you, whoever they put on that show next week, President Trump should be on the show. I'd like to hear President Trump on the first show. Wouldn't you? I think that would be really awesome to hear him on the first show. What do you think? I'm talking to Silent, my cat. They hated Rush way more than Trump. Well, they hate anyone who disagrees with them who has influence. You know? That's just how the left are. They're consumed with hate, and they want to cancel out anyone who disagrees with them. And I'll tell you, I haven't looked on Twitter, but I'm sure Twitter is filled with liberals celebrating today. Who would do such a thing? Yeah, Mike Lindell and Trump, first guest. Yeah. You know, and this is, you know, there's so many people. I know a lot of you probably, you set your day at noontime to listen to Rush. I mean, you know what an impact that's going to have on millions of people? It's going to be a big change in people's lives. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. I was looking through Rush's Wikipedia. Was he a mentor of sorts to you? No, he was not a mentor to me, Rush. No. Steve is, but not Rush, no. No. Could Don Jr. be decent on the radio? Um, Talk radio is not easy. It seems easy when you hear Rush do it, or me, or others, because we're good at it. You know what I mean? But it's like anything else. When somebody is very good, when they're a professional, when they're, I mean, how, like, sometimes you'll look at a Picasso and you're like, oh, I could do that. That's nothing, really. You know, it only looks easy because Picasso's so great. You know what I mean? That's how it is with talk radio. So you just can't plug somebody in because, and I like Don Jr., and maybe he'd be great, but being on the air 3 hours a day, 5 days a week ain't easy. To be creative and be interesting, taking calls. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm looking through, they got all his controversies here, and when they go through his controversies, most of the things are jokes, you know, and what liberals have done is they have taken humor and canceled it. You can't tell a joke anymore. If you tell a joke, you're racist. If you tell a joke, you're an Islamophobe. If you tell a joke, you're a homophobe. You can't tell any jokes anymore. I mean, could you imagine what it must be like being a stand-up comic today? They can't do anything. And they were so after him. Remember when he was going to do commentary for the NFL? Yeah, they got rid of that. There was talk of him buying part of a football team. They got rid of that. Oh, yeah, his rehab. I mean, think about it. This guy has been doing a radio show. You couldn't tell he was sick. Rush has been doing a radio show, going through chemotherapy, having a terminal cancer diagnosis, and he's got no hearing. He's been deaf for how long ago did he lose his hearing? Right? Over 10 years ago. He's been doing a show for 10 years that's an audio forum, an audio format, and he can't hear. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. I wonder if Savage feels like a jerk today for those terrible things he said. He probably didn't. He probably doesn't feel bad, 12 years ago. Well, that's when we found out about it, because I remember before Rush came out about what was going on with him, before he had the implant and we knew about the prescription thing, he sounded strange on the air because he couldn't hear himself. And he talked about this after he made the announcement. People thought he was sounding arrogant because his voice was different. And what he was doing, and I imagine they kept doing this, is they had like a transcriptionist when he would take a call, and they would type out to him what the caller said, and they had color codings for him so he could tell if they were angry, if they were nice, you know what I mean, to tell mood. And to do radio all these years while you're deaf, I know, and you watch the liberals talk about his drug abuse issues. Addiction's a tough thing, and so many people suffer from addiction. It's a terrible thing. And Rush, he has a problem millions of people have had or know someone in their family who has, and the liberals, no mercy. I mean, you go after someone like that who's got a severe addiction issue and they still overcome it when they've got people like that. I promise you the liberals are celebrating today. It's terrible. That's how they are. They have no class. They don't care. They have no decency. Yeah. He was a true fighter till the end, Ken says. Yeah. That's for sure. Was his last show eventful? Did he not know that he probably wouldn't be back on the last show? Savage was calling out there were backstabbers surrounding Trump early on. Yeah, well, I would think Savage just got lucky with that guess. You know, Savage. Savage's got a lot of problems, Michael Savage. And Savage, with all of his success, because he's had great success, he is worth many millions of dollars, not just from his broadcasting career, but his son's got that energy drink, so he's got unlimited wealth, Michael Savage, and he still is angry. He was in the hospital the last 4 days. Do you know, Ann, what hospital it was? The only reason I ask is because I'm sure it's not far from where I'm at. Well, Rush had a prescription painkiller addiction years ago. Yeah. He never did. I always thought Michael Savage was overrated. He's a nighttime personality, but he probably, instead of feeling terrible as he should for the terrible things he said about Rush, Savage is probably jealous of all the attention that Rush is getting. I gotta go in the other room because my battery is low, so I'm going to have to go in the other room and plug in my phone. The problem is with the Streamlabs, because Kathy. Yeah, so I'm still streaming. I'm just walking in the other room here because I got to put the charger up to my phone. Hold on. I don't have a charger on my back porch. Hold on. It's at 10%. See back there, there's my bathrobes. There we go. Okay. Good. I have to be close to the charging cable. Oh my goodness. How many of you guys sleep with charging cables in your bed? This is my bedroom. Yeah, I know. It is a sad day. I mean, it really is. And, Savage is jealous of others. He looks down on everyone who doesn't have a master's or a doctorate. Yeah, I know. It's too bad. He always feels slighted. And, I'm not that way. I'm not that way. Jealous, like how Biden wants to stop talking. It's not that Biden wants to stop talking about Trump. He wants everyone else to stop talking about Trump. Well, when I heard President Trump today on Fox, that was like President Trump's reintroduction to society. Soundbites. I don't know what I'm going to... Obviously, on the radio tomorrow, we're going to talk about Rush. Savage isn't on the radio anymore. He left radio, which I don't know why. But I'm sure we'll talk about Rush, but I don't think I don't know what I'll do. I can't say I won't do it. But I don't plan on playing any sound bites of people saying terrible things. I mean, I just think that's in bad taste. It's in bad taste. But it does reveal the liberals and what they're about. They're consumed with hate. They take pleasure in other people's hurt. Well, what makes Savage, this is the thing with Michael Savage, okay? He's a mediocre talk radio talent. I mean, he can't handle oppositional phone calls or guests. I mean, I've heard him with opposition, and he, with all of his education and everything, and all the books he's read and all the books he's written, Savage in a debate loses every time. I saw, I think it was Charles Barkley. Ken, $2.99 super sticker. Thank you, Ken. I saw Charles Barkley go up against Savage on CNN many, many years ago. And I think it was in the 90s. And he just filleted Savage. I heard an old lady call Savage and just humiliate him. But what makes Savage he's a mediocre talk radio talent, Michael Savage. But what makes him a little bit interesting is his dysfunctional personality, this Rodney Dangerfield thing. I have the Drew Carey look, black rim glasses. Well, these are my reading glasses. Roscoe, $5 super chat. Thank you. Rest in peace, Rush, no doubt. But Savage, he what he said about Rush a while back was awful. You're living on $930 a month. Oh my goodness. Well, good luck to you, Randall. That's tough. It is sad. I don't like to see anyone go. That's why you'll hear me when I'm talking about Biden. And 9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, Ann. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat there, and thanks for subscribing and watching and supporting my content. I appreciate that. I'm in my bedroom, just charging. I wasn't planning on live streaming here. Things are bad out here. Takeout tonight, yeah. Envy is a wasted emotion. You know, I used to be like that when I was younger. Like when I was in my early 20s, I was always slighted. I was always angry. I thought everybody was always getting an advantage that I should have. But I was a kid then. When I grew up, Savage never grew up. Yeah, Savage is lucky that yeah, yeah, yeah. Pray for Randall. He definitely needs it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Levin's books are works of art. You know, someone came to the radio studio one day with one of Michael Savage's books and wanted me and Steve to autograph it. We would, you know, like, we're not going to sign somebody else's book. So strange. So strange. Roscoe, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Really enjoy your content. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Roscoe. I appreciate that $20 super chat, and I'm glad you like the content. How long have you been following me? Rush was imitated but never duplicated. Yeah, you know, a lot of people think, somebody like me, you hear this all the time. Oh, you're a wannabe Rush. Nah, wannabe Steve Kane maybe, but not a Rush. I don't, you know. You can't, no. Rush was a different thing because Rush, the style of talk radio he does is different from what I do. I mean, I like to debate people. I like to take on liberal opposition. That wasn't his thing. But I'll tell you, I was blown away at how great Rush was on the air the last couple months. I mean, not just that he was there and doing the show, but that he had great hooks on issues and great insight. That's not easy to do. You know, the most difficult thing to do when you're doing a radio show is have an interesting new, we call it the hook, on whatever topic you're talking about. Do I plan on having guests on the show? We have guests sometimes. Haven't had any lately because, you know, of COVID. But we do have guests. Well, thank you, Roscoe. I'm glad you found me. You were a MAGA radio host. Thank you. Well, thank you, Chrissy. Yeah. I was. How many of you, did all of you hear President Trump on Fox today? Well, thank you, Tia. Well, welcome. Welcome. I know 70's too young. I mean, when I was younger, 70 was like, oh man, but now, you know, I'm 21 years away from that. That's way too soon. You know, that's way too soon. Luckily, I've never been a smoker, which is crazy. My mother smoked, my father smoked, my grandparents all smoked, you know, and I should call Levin's show tonight. He called me once. He did. Levin did call me. Yep. Roscoe, another super chat. Thank you. $20 super chat. You cannot replace Rush just like you can't replace Paul Harvey. No, I don't. I've never been a smoker. I was talking to Steve the other day about all of his friends that have passed away, and every single one of them was a smoker at some point in their life. He never was a smoker either. So, you know, I hope, you know, to take a positive out of this terrible thing, I hope that encourages people to not smoke, especially, you know, a lot of times people smoke cigars and they think cigars, they don't inhale the smoke into their lungs. A lot of cigar smokers, a lot do, but not a lot don't. And they think that that's okay. That's not the case. My grandmother died from brain cancer that she had gotten from smoking. And my mother was a big, big smoker. And when her mother passed away from it, she stopped. And I mean, nobody smoked like my mother, I'll tell you that. Oh, Hannity? Yeah. No, but you can't replace Rush, but I'm sure they're going to have, they've got some plans on stomach cancer. Oof. Mouth cancer. Oh, that's awful. they've got to have some plans to keep it going. I just wonder, will they keep it? Will they keep? Well, happy birthday, Ann. 9 years from 70. Will they keep it the EIB network? I would imagine. No, I haven't heard. Well, Snurdly had that tweet the other day, which told us something was happening. You bet Russia's already picked his replacement? I would not be surprised if he has, and they play some recorded announcement that Rush made. But then again, they may not have. They may do a series of guest hosts. And I'm sure, hey, Gary, I'm sure that there are a whole bunch of people circling, that want to take that over, like Ben Shapiro and Bongino and all of these people. But, you go into somebody's time slot like that, that's so loved, that's not easy. No, but most of this, my stepfather passed away from smoking. Trump was on Fox around 12-ish today. He called in with Harris Faulkner. What'd you say about Shapiro and Bongino? They're not ready. No. Shapiro and Bongino are not ready for that. No, Bongino's a nice guy, but he's not a talk show host. He's a, Well, yeah, Steve and I have talked about this a lot, about, this new crop of people that are circling the wagons to be on in place of Rush. And talk radio is an art form. And a lot of people that are doing it are not trained, talented talk radio hosts. They're activists. I like Charlie Kirk. I like Charlie Kirk a lot, and I listen to his podcast, and it's very good. But he is an activist. He's not a talk show host. You understand what I mean? Same thing with Bongino. I like Bongino a lot. I listen to his podcast, but he's not a talk show host. He's an activist. I don't know how he did it either. Yeah, Charlie Kirk's show is really good. But if you plug Charlie Kirk into Rush Limbaugh's show on Monday, you wouldn't like it. Well, I'm on Parler. I haven't been able to get on it yet. I haven't tried since this morning. Brian Craig's show on Parler, if you want to follow me there. I don't have too many followers on Parler because I never really used it, but I guess I'll have to start using it. Brian Craig show on Parler, if I can get back on. But I talked to a lady today. She got on, and her followers and everything were still there. I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. I do it for half of what they paid Rush. Yeah, less than half, really. I'd be happy with less than half. He did today. Rush was very much honored by Trump. Well, thank you, SLR. I appreciate that. He said, I was telling Kathy when we heard President Trump on with Harris Faulkner today. It was President Trump's first interview since leaving office. Roscoe, $5 super chat. Thank you. What about Mike Rowe, guest host for Rush? I've never heard Mike Rowe host a radio show before. I've heard him as a guest, but I've never heard him actually do it, so I don't know. And I told Kathy, this is like President Trump's reintroduction to society. You know what I mean? He was different, and since he's not on social media now, maybe it's better for him not to be on social media. Maybe it's better, and maybe he likes it better. I was really impressed with President Trump. I'm always impressed with President Trump, but I was very impressed with him today. I thought he did damn good with him. And I was surprised. Harris Faulkner said, "My mother loves you, Mr. President," and you could tell she was really saying herself too, but she didn't want to. She didn't want to say it, Harris Faulkner, that was good to hear. It's like Fox with this thing today with Rush is like honoring Rush and honoring President Trump. And I turned on MSNBC and CNN a couple times, and they were not even talking about it. Well, thank you, Mouse. You added me on Parler. Thank you. If I can get on Parler, that'll help. I'll be able to follow it. I'll tell you another thing, too. I know a lot of conservatives have left Twitter. I wish they were there today to fill Twitter with great messages about Rush. You know, if you deleted your Twitter, you have 30 days to reactivate it and you don't lose your followers or anything. Well, you know, when I heard President Trump today with Harris Faulkner on Fox, it was like he's like a respected elder statesman now. Like he's been out of the spotlight a little bit. We got this old coot destroying the country right now. We haven't really heard him, and then he was on that interview today, and they even treated him with a different level of respect. You know, I heard the end of Rush's wife. You cried the whole time. I heard the end of it. Kathy and I were at the beach, and just watching the ocean, and someone called and told us, "You've been posting anti-Biden stuff." You know, anti-Biden stuff is just what he's doing in the news. You know, a video of CNN from CNN of that town hall last night is everything with him is awful. You don't trust Harris Faulkner? Well, thank you, Chrissy. You know nothing about Rush. Wow. You don't trust Harris Faulkner? You know, I'm not a big fan of Harris Faulkner. She's got a little ego problem. I heard her interviewed by, who was it? It was, I think it was Bongino on his podcast. This is a couple years ago, but it might have been someone else. I can't remember. She had her book out she was promoting, and she was telling him about a friend she had that she stopped being friends with because she was dropping her name at restaurants in New York to get better tables. I'm thinking, who drops Harris Faulkner's name at a restaurant in New York to get a better table? She's not that famous. It's not like she's Hannity or Tucker Carlson or something. You know, I would think most people, if you said Harris Faulkner, they say, who? Do you believe this country can come together, or are we headed for... Yeah, this country's always had two political sides. I mean, look at the 60s. And, you know, people forget how divided... no matter who the president is, the country's always divided. You know? George Bush, GW, right? The Iraq War and everything. Reagan. Oh, my goodness, no. The country's always divided 50-50 on politics. A free meal at a Denny's in Ohio? I doubt that. They'd be like, Harris Faulkner, and I thought it was so cocky of her to say that. I thought it was so strange. I thought it was so strange. That's, you know, that kind of rubbed me the wrong. I shouldn't judge her based on that one moment, you know. Yeah. But she was very respectful to President Trump. She was really sucking up to him. And I didn't even think about it until after, and he was there for a long time. And after he left, she said, well, this was the first interview President Trump has given since he's been out of office. And sure enough, it was. I didn't even think about it when I was hearing it. But when I heard him talking, I realized how much I miss hearing from him all the time. The left has finally shown us who they are, and they feel empowered. Yeah, they always feel empowered and just. I was talking on the show the other day. I was watching this liberal guy on YouTube, and he was defending cancel culture. And he said, you know, people that are canceled are usually older, and their views are out of date. They're not with the mainstream, so it's okay to cancel them because their views hurt other people. You know, I'm just thinking, well, it's okay. This is America. I mean, don't they even hear what they're saying? Who would be my choice on Russia's replacement? You mean Rush is, not Russia, the country. My choice for the replacement for Rush would be Brian Craig. He's a great host. Not me. No. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be my first choice, would be me. Yeah. Who would you guys like to see, other than me? Because you guys are biased. You miss Trump? Yeah. I know. I miss Trump, too. Oh, yeah. No, don't send me a check. That's okay. How about Laura Loomer? Yeah, I saw her up there at Mar-a-Lago on Monday. You might have seen her. They interviewed her on Right Side Broadcasting. Snurdly? I don't know. We don't have any Denny's here anymore either. I know, when I heard Trump talking today, that was the first time we heard Trump it seemed like it was the first time we heard Trump talking in years. You know, we're so used to hearing him every day, and he's on the down low. But they really were treating him with a lot of respect. Mm-hmm. Harris Faulkner I would say, was even sucking up. Lou Dobbs replacing Rush. I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I didn't even think about it. You know, and he lives, that's Nina. He lives here in the area. Yeah. You think it'll be someone fresh and new? No, there won't be someone fresh and new. They want to have someone, first off, to have the experience to do that. You have to have been around. So it'll be someone we know of. They're not going to bring, I don't think they will bring in some unknown who's like a local talk show host like me. I think it'll be somebody who's nationally known. Because, you know, radio listening is a habit, right? Right? You know, like I would hope you guys 6 a.m. every day. You're right there, right? Yeah, of course. But no, radio listening is a habit. So if they brought in somebody completely new that was unheard of, except maybe like a local audience somewhere, unless they were like spectacular, like me, it would be a disaster. It has to be someone that's very well known, that has a following of their own. Like the perfect person, honestly, Lou Dobbs is a good choice. That's a good choice. But in a format like that, he could get, TV and radio are different things. And TV people are snobs. They think they're better than radio people. You know, it's like the Titanic. They think that they're like, you know, Billy Zane and Rose, and like radio people are steerage, you know. It's totally different thing. So Lou Dobbs does not need a job. He's got millions of dollars, I promise you. So doing a 3-hour radio show is not the same as doing an hour of television. It's a whole nother medium. I like Mark Stein, but if you listen to Mark Stein, he's very, very good. But if he fills in for 3 days in a row, it's like I've heard everything Mark Stein's got to say on all the issues going on in the country at that particular time. You know what I mean? 2 days in a row of Mark Stein's enough. Yeah. It's hard to say. Lou Dobbs is a good choice. You know, I don't think this is possible, but the natural, it will not be Michael Savage after what he said about Rush. Oh my goodness, no. The perfect person. This is serious, but I don't think this is possible. Would be Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity. But he's already on an afternoon drive. And he has a contractual agreement with like 400 radio stations nationwide. So changing his time slot to noon to 3, I don't know if that's possible. But he would be the perfect choice. Another one, somebody told this to me the other. I don't know if it was you, Kathy, might have told me this one. Another good suggestion. I mean, Sean Hannity would probably be the first one and the perfect one. But the number 2 person would if I were like in the committee talking about it, would be Bill O'Reilly. Because Bill O'Reilly used to do a radio show noon to 3. Yeah, I would say Bill O'Reilly, because he's very good. He's done radio. He's got a huge. Brian, don't you live close to the radio station? I do live close to the radio station. I also don't live too far from Rush's studio. I would say Bill O'Reilly would be number 1 choice, because I just don't think Hannity can do it because of his radio deal. Hannity repeats himself and talks over his. Well, we all have our problems. I'm not going to ask you what my problems are, because it'll be a long list of stuff. It'll keep me up at night. But let me go through some of the chat here. What does Savage say about Rush? He was. I don't remember the exact words, but he was tired of him talking about his cancer and doing all. It was really nasty. It was really nasty. Sean Hannity's the same thing every day. Jesse Lee Peterson. Steve and I know Jesse Lee Peterson. Tucker Carlson, possibly. Hannity lives in Florida. Most of these guys have a house here because we don't have state income tax. So they try to make Florida their primary residence. Greg Gutfeld? No. No, 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 no. You don't listen to Hannity? I don't listen to Hannity either. And I don't really care for his show too much. He has good guests on, but it seems when I turn on Hannity on TV, it's always about what's coming up later in the show, right? And there's like 80 people coming up in the show. I don't know, it's a little much. And his radio show, not Larry Elder. His radio show is so, in my opinion, vanilla. Just vanilla. Mark Levin, no, not Dan Bongino. Mark Levin's a possibility. I could see them talking to Mark Levin. Yeah. You see clips on Parler of Hannity. You don't watch him on Fox anymore? No. And I was talking earlier in the chat about Bongino. Bongino's good. I listen to his podcast, but he's not a professional radio talk show host. He's like a activist. Mark Levin's very good. But see, some people, like Mark Levin's very good. I like his show, but he's a nighttime personality. Oh, Greg Kelly? From Newsmax? That's not a bad choice. I think the first choice would be Bill O'Reilly and Hannity. Dinesh D'Souza? It can't just be, he's too academic. It can't be someone that you like. Do I have Telegram? I started a Telegram account like 5 or 10 years ago, never used it, so I don't even know what I am on Telegram. I couldn't figure it out. Joan says, I'm 99.6% sure Rush is planning the future and a new host for his show. I don't know about that. I'm curious to know if...
Just because he planned it doesn't mean they're going to do what he wants.
It depends on what kind of ownership his he has in that whole syndication thing with his wife and everything. Yeah.
Maybe. True.
He gets high-strung, Bongino. Well, that's how these workout guys are. Howie Carr? No, not Howie Carr. Steve Bannon? No. I like Steve Bannon's show, okay? Don't get me wrong, but does he do it by himself? He's got like 5 people with him. No, he couldn't do it by himself. If you figured out Telegram, I can. Yeah, I haven't really tried to figure out Telegram. No, I wouldn't. No, not Steve Bannon. Not Alex Jones.
I think Bill O'Reilly's the best.
Bill O'Reilly's the perfect choice.
He's not doing anything. He's a radio guy. He's got a huge following.
He did a radio show for a while, noon to 3 against Rush.
He's the best choice.
Yeah, but does he want to work every day now?
For the right price.
Yeah.
Everybody has
Does he miss the limelight, Bill O'Reilly?
He does. I'm sure he'd love it.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Lahren? No way, Dick.
God.
No way. It can't be just someone you like. No. You would not like Dan Bongino doing that show every day. It just wouldn't be the same quality. He's not a professional broadcaster. It has to be someone, Steven Crowder or Tim Pool? No. Wait a second. What did you say? Alex Jones is like saying Steven Crowder or Tim Pool. Yeah, exactly. I had a question about Tim Pool. Is he bald? Because he always has that little winter cap that all the millennials wear, like the guy in the Monkees. Like, I don't wear a hat too much. I'm not bald. I got all my hair. It's a little messed up now because I got a hat head. But I have never seen Tim Pool without that little winter cap on. So I'm just wondering, is he bald? Does anyone know? Has anyone seen Tim Pool's head in the last year or so? Because I haven't. You say Tim Pool's... He is bald? Ann says he's not. I don't know. You guys can DM me some pictures. Beanie power. Yeah, I know. Kathy and I, we were at Chipotle, and it was a hot day here in Florida, like 96 degrees. And this guy walks in. He's like some, millennial kind of guy. And he's like right from the gym. He's in his workout clothes. You know what I mean? He's the kind of guy that walks while he's looking at his arms because he's impressed by his muscles. And he had one of those beanies on, and it's 96 degrees. And the beanie was the same color as the clothes he was wearing. You know, it was like matching. I'm like, what a, strange guy. 96 degrees, he's wearing a beanie in Florida. That's crazy. Crazy. No, not Charlie Kirk. Bill O'Reilly would be the number one choice. Don't say that, Eddie. Please don't say that. I know you're trying to be funny, so I give you one warning. Be decent. Be a decent human being. I know you're a liberal, but come on. Who can handle the grind? Bill O'Reilly is all about himself. Used to be good. Yeah, the rest I'm not going to read. O'Reilly is too old. It needs to be someone that's known, that's conservative, that's polished. They have to have a following. It can't just be some guy who's number one in San Diego or something.
Do you think they're going to replace him right away or have like
No.
fill-ins or a panel?
They'll have a bunch of fill-ins. What about Glenn Beck? No, the audience would turn on Glenn Beck. Never Trumper. No. Glenn Beck, if it was 2010, it would be Glenn Beck. Remember he had that thing in the Washington Mall? It'll not be, no. O'Reilly would be a similar feel for what Rush did. Yeah, I would say so. Sexton, I haven't heard him enough to give an opinion on him. Stephen Miller, you love Glenn Beck? Oh, my goodness. No. Alex Jones, no. No. It's not a hard decision. I'd first go to Hannity and see if I was running the AIB network, my first pick would be Sean Hannity. Which like I said, I don't think is possible. If that didn't fit, my second pick would be Bill O'Reilly.
What about, here's the name nobody said, Eric Bowling.
Ooh. Eric Bowling, that's a good one, Kathy.
I think that's a good one.
Eric Bowling, what do you guys think about that? Eric Bowling.
He's got nothing going on. He'd be good.
It is sad, Nick. It really is. My top five, well, I got to change it now. Hannity, O'Reilly, Eric Bowling, Lou Dobbs. We need one more. No, not Candace Owens.
Somebody from Fox.
You know, I like Candace Owens, and I watch her PragerU interviews, and Kathy and I watched an interview she did with the actor that plays the coach on, what's that show, Kathy? The Goldbergs. And he had dealt with a lot of oppression and fake Me Too things, and everything he said, it was like listening to Hannity. Everything he said, Candace Owens has the same thing happen to her, that she tells her whole story. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
She's a little arrogant.
Judge Janine? No. And I'll tell you why. I love Judge Janine, okay? But on the radio, it would be worse than listening to Ben Shapiro for 3 hours, 5 days a week, her voice. Because she yells and shouts, and her voice is...
She does yell a lot.
You know, no. An hour a week on television is great. But 5 days a week for 3 hours, it would be unlistenable. Nails on a chalkboard. Lou Dobbs, yeah. No, not David Webb, Nick. I like David Webb, but I'll tell you who I hope they do not approach. There's one person that if they approach, it's a set. I'll tell you who. Smirkanish. If they go to Smirkanish and about taking over for Rush, you'll know the Never Trumpers have gotten in. Smirkanish.
He's awful.
You know Smirkanish? You ever listen to his radio show?
No, but I've seen him on TV.
Yeah. Eric Bowling's a good choice.
I think Eric Bowling's a really good choice.
Yeah. Don Jr.
But has he done a radio show, Eric Bowling?
I don't know. I'd give him a go.
I'd love to see Don Jr. I don't know if he wants that kind of commitment.
Does Don Jr. want to work 5 days a week in the middle of the day? I don't think so.
Great. I think he'd be great.
Don Jr.? Oh, yeah. Where would I put Tucker Carlson? I would put Tucker Carlson on the list of possibilities. Oh, well, I'm at the top of the list. I would be at the top of the list.
What about Laura Ingraham? Are you
No.
thinking only men here?
No, I don't like Laura Ingraham's
Why? She
radio
has
show.
a radio show.
Not anymore. She left her radio show.
So she be good.
No, I never liked her radio show.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand listening to her
Her
voice.
show's been pretty good.
Yeah, but Don Jr. is a billionaire. He doesn't want to work 3 hours a day in the middle of the day, 5 days a week. It'd mess up his whole lifestyle.
He couldn't go fishing.
Don Jr.'s running the Trump businesses. I think Eric is probably running the Trump businesses because you never hear from Eric. He's too busy, right, working.
I never see Don Jr. work.
Mm-mm.
He's like always fishing.
I'm too good in the morning. If I moved to noon, I wouldn't be the same. Let me tell you something. I'd find a way. I'd be fine at noon to 3. Are you kidding me? If they let me do it, I wonder if they would let me do it and not screen the calls and let me screen my own calls on the air. Could you imagine on a national show like that?
It'd be fun.
That would be crazy. Just one day a week. Open phone Fridays. I screen the calls on the air like I do. Yeah, I got an email. You know, I read my emails and stuff. I read everything. And I got a nasty email from a listener in the middle of the night, an overnight listener, who was telling me we shouldn't take so many calls. They don't like the show with all the calls we take, that our callers are not intelligent enough to be on the air, and we need more intelligent callers.
Oh my Lord.
What an arrogant person. What an arrogant person. What if only, of course, they're not calling, of course. Mike Pompeo, you're talking about hosting a radio show 3 hours a day. No. The show is not the callers. The show is us, the host. Callers are not hosts. You just can't say names of people you like. Richie wouldn't be able to do it, okay? Richie is good in small doses. Salty Cracker, please. 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 Have you noticed that Salty Cracker doesn't look at the camera? He's always looking away from the camera.
That's weird.
It's like he can't look at the viewers in their eyes.
He's insecure.
Brian, you're a trip. You would give your left nut for the gig. Rush Limbaugh makes like $15 million a month. Of course.
He'd give both.
Yeah.
The left and the right.
Well, I don't know about both. Yeah. Of course I would take the job. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of course. I think I could. Well, it's a funny thing you mentioned Sebastian Gorka, because when I was listening to Rush today and they were doing the memorial and stuff, and they went to commercial, and it was a Sebastian Gorka commercial for the what is it, Pain Factor or whatever he talks about. And I thought Relief Factor, and I thought, I would not be surprised if Gorka is one of the people on the list.
I like him. I like Gorka.
I don't know who Chris Jericho is. Sean Hannity's the man. Relief, yes. I would take him with me. Gorka and Herman were always the guest hosts. Herman Cain. Oh, Jericho's a wrestler. Ray from Sunrise. Yeah, Ray from Sunrise. Ray from Sunrise is like 90 years old. OAN. Chanel Rion on OAN. I haven't heard her talk too much. People don't realize how hard it is to do a 3-hour radio show. People think it's easy. All you do is go in and talk. It's not easy. If you heard my early shows, you'd see a big difference. Todd Herman. Okay. Yeah, I saw that. What would Steve do if I left to take over Russia's slot? Steve could come with me. You kidding me? Brian and the golden mic? Yeah. I'll take the 10 mic. I don't care. I'd do it. It's not easy. Kathy will tell you, I'm wiped out when I get off the air. Wiped out. Sebastian Gorka. Yeah, I listen to him a lot. Sebastian Gorka is very good. Todd Schnitt. Yeah, right. Todd Schnitt. I don't know if he could reach the mic. He's really short, Todd Schnitt, they say. I've never met him, but he's really short. Yeah, Todd Schnitt. No. Best thing about him is his name. He's got a cool name. You know, he uses his name. I don't know if it's a cool name, but he uses it. Schnit happens. Schnit this. You know, everything's a play on his name. It will now. Michael Savage would be awful, 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 awful. Jack Prosobic from One American News. No, he's a reporter. He couldn't do a 3-hour radio show. No. Larry Kudlow. I think that would be kind of boring. That would be like listening to PBS. Wouldn't that be like public television? No. What's the difference with a golden mic for broadcasting? Absolutely nothing. It's bling. The golden mic is bling. That's all. Schnitt has a terrible personality. I never would. He was on the air down here for a long time. First time I heard Glenn Beck, he was filling in for Schnitt before he got famous. Mike Rowe. Somebody else said Mike Rowe. I haven't heard Mike Rowe do a show.
He used to be a host on QVC.
Why did I get rid of the big radio microphone and go to the headset? 2 reasons. Well, I still use that microphone at home for the podcast. I still use that older microphone. The main reason I went to the headset is it's less wires. You know, it's less wires in the studio while I'm doing the live stream because I got the headphones and the mic on one thing. That was the main reason. And the second reason is at the radio station, I'm the only one that uses that studio during the week, but somebody uses it on the weekend, and I don't like sharing a mic. I don't want to share a microphone with anyone. So I'm not using any mics that are in the radio studio. That was the second reason. But the main reason was it's just less wires because I'm going to have the headset and the mic all in one thing. That's all. Yeah, his Facebook thing, Mike Rowe, got taken off, I thought. Mike Pierce. We were talking about Don Jr., and I just don't see Don Jr. wanting to commit to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week in the middle of the day. There's just... Don Jr. is like retired right now. He could now. I don't think he'd want to do that. Why have I chosen to stand for 3 hours and not sit? Because I like to... At the old studio, I couldn't stand. I had to sit. So I've been sitting on the radio for over 20 years. And it's nice to stand up. Standing is actually better because you're more awake. You know? I like standing. Yeah, I have a standing desk at home that I use. You have more energy when you're standing. You know, time goes by fast. I have a chair. I sit down sometimes, but there are 4 studios at the radio station. I could choose any of them to work in, and I chose that one so I can stand. There's another studio you can stand up into as well. I would love doing the Rush Limbaugh show. Oh my gosh, I would love it. If they called me and asked me to audition, I don't know. I hate to have to audition. I'd hate to have to audition. I've already auditioned enough, right? They got everybody that works on the EIB network. They know me. The EIB network is in this market. They know me and Steve. Believe me, they're very familiar. I would hate to do a show and have one show be the deciding factor into whether you got the job, wouldn't you? That would suck. I wouldn't be able to handle that pressure. Well, thank you, Brenda. I just started watching you 2 months ago. Turn you on first thing in the morning. Thank you. Patty says, give Kathy our love.
Hey, Patty.
Brian, what you should do is move your YouTube videos to Rumble after you edit. That way they can open... Well, you know, I have a Rumble. And nobody's on Rumble. You know, there's another guy on YouTube, a conservative guy, and everyone is telling him to go to Rumble. And he said going from YouTube to Rumble is like trying to go up against Disney Plus by putting together a local theater troupe. It's just not there yet. Rumble's just not there yet, unfortunately. I do have a Rumble. I put 2 videos up, and they have 6 views combined. And probably 5 of them are me making sure the video's up. You know, so no, it's just, I don't know, no. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Rumble's just not there yet. I used to stream on a whole bunch of different things, like Periscope, YouTube, Instagram. I was streaming like on 4 things at one time, and I'd have like 4 devices, all over the studio, and I slowly just cut back to 1. Yes, excellent in broadcasting. I'm sure the Excellence in Broadcasting Network is still going to be around. I wonder if there'll be a big public celebrity funeral for Rush Limbaugh. What do you guys think? President Trump eulogizing him and everything. What do you guys think? Here in Palm Beach somewhere? I would think maybe. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a private thing, but they should do a public. They should do a public thing. Children would call into Rush. You got to be an approachable personality. He should lie in state. Traffic and weather's dated, Nick, in radio. It really is. Who goes to that? Most of the time, traffic's a joke. This whole lie that they're up in helicopters and planes flying over, it's all BS. One time, a couple years ago, I was on the Turnpike, and I had on the local station of Miami, 610 WIOD, and they were saying it was clear, Turnpike clear all the way south, all the way down to Miami, and I was on the Turnpike in a parking lot of traffic. So I sent a text to the news guy that just said it, because the guy that was doing it was a friend of mine. And then the next break, he says, "Oh, we're getting reports that the Turnpike is a parking lot." I mean, traffic on the radio is a joke. You tune in because I support Trump, so you don't really care for me. You just because I say good things about Trump, so you listen. Okay. You should like me too. Don't listen to me just because I say nice things about it. That mean, Oh my gosh. Traffic and weather. Oh yeah. Who else is on the network? And I don't think anyone. Well, the fill-in host. I guess they're part of the EIB network, like Mark Stein. Sure. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. No, I would say Rush Limbaugh was a decent guy. The left demonizes him. Oh, of course. Chris Plant. I've heard Chris Plant, and I can't. Yeah, I've heard him a few times. I don't have like a specific memory of him. Joyce Kaufman replacing Rush? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Yeah, rest in peace. I hope they do a televised funeral. But with President Trump and Don Jr. as pallbearers. You have the same blanket with the Cardinals? Yeah, this is my wife's blanket.
Ask where they got it.
Yeah, where'd you get it? Is this, Kathy,
No.
is this a white blanket that got washed with the Reds?
No. It's a Christmas blanket.
It's a Christmas blanket, okay.
Yeah, I got on QVC. I got both of them on QVC.
Yeah. You got to have humor.
Very soft blanket.
Well, thank you, Dion. I appreciate that. You got to have humor. People coming up with these names just because they like someone. You just can't. Yeah, exactly. No, it's got to be somebody that can do it. I think Bill O'Reilly's the first choice. Eric Bowling. Yeah, I would.
Anybody who's been fired from Fox.
Well,
any of those 3 would be good.
We have a lot of blankets here, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It's hot as hell outside. It's like 90 degrees right now, but my wife's on a lot of medications, and it opens up her blood vessels and makes her very hot. So we keep our house is a meat locker. So we have our air conditioning down to 68 degrees at night. Yeah, 60. Yeah, 60. She puts our air conditioning in 68 degrees at night.
Plus, I have an extra air conditioner in the bedroom.
Yeah, we have an extra AC in the bedroom.
And 2 fans.
Yeah.
So when Brian gets out of the shower,
yeah,
he's like an icicle.
So our bedroom.
It's like 65 degrees.
65, maybe sometimes 60 degrees, year round. So, so we have a lot of blankets here to keep me warm. It's freezing in here. The meat locker. It's true.
Whatever.
Can't
help it.
What happened to O'Reilly's radio show? It wasn't that bad, but the problem, there were two problems he had. One, it was on against Rush, and
Yeah.
then the other problem is he was doing his 8 o'clock show, and I think it was too much work for him. Doing a 3-hour radio show, and then he would record at like 5 in the afternoon his TV show. I think it was too much. 60 degrees, yeah. Just stumbled upon RV Adventures. What, Kathy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do you want RV Adventures? Do you know the YouTube channel RV Odd Couple? Isn't that who we watch, Kathy?
Yeah, RV Odd
Yeah, the RV Odd Couple. They're pretty good. Hot chocolate, yeah. 90 degrees outside. It's 58 in my bedroom. 2 air conditioners in the bedroom. Rush 24/7's running old show. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do. 22 degrees. Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, Trump was amazing on Fox, guys, wasn't he? Oh, my gosh. It was so nice to hear from him.
Can you go in the living room?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's charged now.
It's plugged by the couch.
Oh, okay.
By the bookshelf.
Okay. O'Reilly's made a fortune. Oh, O'Reilly's loaded, man. O'Reilly's loaded. He could do the thing for free. Oh, now I'm in the living room. 2 below. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 2 below. That's brutal. I would die if it got that cold here. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful weather. Beautiful. I'm gonna go out on the back porch. Go out in the Florida weather. Oh, I just came back. Yeah, I'm going to Disney World this weekend. Hey, Sagwa. All right, here I am. I'm on the back porch with my cat. Come here, Sagwa. You guys want to see Sagwa? It is big enough. Oh yeah, it's big enough. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Tucker Carlson or Greg Kelly. I've never heard, I telling you, Bill O'Reilly would be on the list. Hannity, I'm not a big fan, but Hannity would be on their list. I'm talking about people that they realistically would entertain. No, this is our other cat. We never got our other cat back. We had our last cat here, Sagwa, and our dog, Nina, unfortunately. I know. Sagwa does not miss the other cat. She did not like the other cat. But we do. I still look for her. Yeah, I'm going to go to Disney World this weekend. Let me see. See, I was talking earlier. Let me pull this up. Let's see what they've done. On the Huffington Post, they got a story in the Huffington Post, and this is the headline, okay? Rush Limbaugh, bigoted king of talk radio, dies at 70. Isn't that terrible? This is the headline right now. Huffington Post. Rush Limbaugh, bigoted king of talk radio, dies at 70. Limbaugh saturated America's airwaves with cruelty and conspiracies, amassing millions of listeners and transforming the Republican Party. I am too, Nick. I mean, that is just the most disgusting, bad taste thing I have ever heard. You got a whole section here. Decade of hate. Okay? They have a list here. In 2003, Rush, was forced to resign from ESPN after stating that Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb was only receiving praise because the media was very desirous that a black quarterback do well. That's probably true. They don't like truth, the liberals. They don't like truth. In 2004, Limbaugh said the NBA should be renamed the TBA, the Thug Basketball Association, and then added, stop calling them teams, call them gangs. They just have no sense of humor, liberals. Well, Ariana Huffington doesn't own she sold the Huffington Post ages ago. He whined that watching the NFL was like watching a game between the Bloods and the Crips without any weapons. It's pretty funny. Well, I appreciate that, John. I think I'd be a great fit, too. Um, they have no. This is the Huffington Post article. Once, after arguing with a black man who called into his show, Rush told the caller to take that bone out of your nose and call me back. Another time, Limbaugh asked his audience, have you ever noticed how all composite pictures of wanted criminals resemble Jesse Jackson while discussing the black civil rights activist and politician? Okay. They have no sense of humor. Okay. He said this, feminism was established to allow unattractive women easier access to the mainstream of society. That's true. There is no group of people that are more discriminated against than unattractive, overweight women. That's true. Did you guys hear I had a call towards the end of the show from this Hispanic lady in California who wears her Trump hat and shirt everywhere she goes in California? She says no one bothers her. And I asked her if she's a hot Latina, and she says, well, people look at me, check me out. You know, good-looking woman can do, in California, can even wear Trump gear. Oh, well, thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. In one of his most infamous episodes, he called Georgetown University law student Sandra Fluke a slut and prostitute. You know what? I forget what happened with Sandra Fluke. Let me look that up. It's been a long time. Sandra Fluke. What was her thing? I forgot what Sandra Fluke did. Let's see here. I forgot what her thing was. Let's see. Oh, yes, the birth control. Okay. Sandra Fluke first came to a public attention when in 2012, Republican members of the House refused to allow her to testify to the committee on the importance of allowing insurance plans to cover birth control. Yeah, she said she couldn't afford birth control, and what had happened was there was pictures of her on European vacation with her boyfriend. That's what Rush was talking about. She couldn't afford birth control, but her boyfriend took her to Europe on vacation. I've never been to Europe, and I don't know if I'll ever go. That's why that's why I go to Epcot so much. It's the closest I've been to Europe. But she wants us to pay for her birth control, but she's taking European vacations. That's what he was talking. Yeah, these things are out of context. What else do they have here? Once, while speaking about the genocide of America's indigenous peoples, that would be Indians, right? Limbaugh said, quote, Holocaust, 90 million Indians, only 4 million left. They all have casinos. What's to complain about? Let me tell you something. The Seminole Indians in Florida and the Miccosukee Indians in Florida are rich. They got their casinos. If you're a Seminole, you get a huge check. Hear all the birds? All your birds have left you guys. They're all here in Florida in my yard. Here. They get thousands and thousands of dollars every month just for being an Indian without working. If they live on the reservation, they don't even have to pay taxes. So, yeah. They know they can't take a joke. Let me see. He called migrants at America's southern border an invasion. Well, what do you call a caravan of people coming in? Let me see here. This is the Huffington Post. Limbaugh's journey to become one of America's foremost bigots began in Missouri, where he was born to a prominent local political family. His father, a lawyer and Republican activist, would lecture about politics in the home and rant against communism. Limbaugh later called his father the smartest man I ever met. That's very nice. So what's wrong with that? He looks up to his father. That's a terrible thing. You know, if he were all these things they said he was, if he was such a terrible person, I think they would have more examples, don't you? Than some rich girl wants us to pay for her birth control. Nah, it couldn't have been that bad if that's all they got on him, right? Exactly. They just hate. Haters are gonna hate. Liberals have no class. Here you got a guy. He just died, and they're calling him all these terrible things. They're just classless people. They are, yeah. Now Fox is trying to get their Trump people back by praising Rush. Let's see here. Did they tell us where he... Let me look at the local paper here in South Florida and see. Does anyone know what hospital Rush was in? He's been in the hospital here in town lately for the past 4 days. I don't know what... let's see here. The local newspaper says he died at his home. This is the Palm Beach Post. Radio King Rush Limbaugh dies of cancer at 70 at his Palm Beach County home. Let me see here. They give us any more information. They just say that he died at home. Let me see. Yeah, they don't say anything else. They go through his whole biography, but I'm talking about the final days is what I'm looking for. I was really... Did everyone get to see and hear President Trump on with Harris Faulkner today? Well, I'm glad he got to pass at home. I really am. Let me see. No, they just say he died at home. They didn't say anything else about, you want to die at home too. The thing, I guess everybody wants to die at home in their sleep, of course. Rush told the truth. They don't like that. Yeah, they don't like that. And I'll tell you, these Mitch McConnell, you're going to see a lot of these rhinos like Mitch McConnell come out and start praising Rush. They don't like Rush. These rhinos don't like Rush, You hope they build a public memorial. I'll tell you what. They really should have a Rush Limbaugh museum here in Palm Beach. They really should. Yeah. Do you think he got vaccinated? I don't know. He was certainly high risk. They would take... No, President Trump's presidential museum is going to be here in Palm Beach. They've already said that. There should be a Rush Limbaugh museum. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Fox News Channel is trying to get the Trump people back. Oh, yeah, Rush lives with... Yeah. They did a strange thing today. And I know this was planned. Oh, Ron DeSantis declaring Rush Limbaugh Remembrance Day. Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing. That would not surprise me at all. They were playing Rush talking about his final diagnosis, and when they played it, they had like that echo, like they used to do for Obama. That echo, like he was speaking from heaven. Yeah, that was... Yeah, that was kind of creepy, actually. Your girlfriend's on chemo, no vaccine if you're on chemo. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because your immune system is wiped out from the chemo. Yeah. Yeah. I'm on my back porch, my Florida room. Lower the flags in Florida. I would not be surprised if they lower the flags in Florida. Yeah. You're not going back? Well, see, because of what I do, I have to know everything that's going on. So I have to pay attention to Fox and CNN, I think that Tucker's doing all right. Tucker, Hannity, and Laura Ingraham have been all right, I must say. And they're under tremendous pressure not to be. Rush was no... I don't get what you mean, Eric. What do you mean, no sense? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Yeah. It is sad. It's sad when anyone passes. And I look at this story in the Huffington Post. That is the most inappropriate, classless story I've ever seen about the passing. They wouldn't put something that nasty. I wonder Let me try to find it. I wonder if the Huffington Post, when they did an article about the passing of Osama bin Laden, if it was as nasty as their one on Rush. Let me look. Let me see here. HuffPost bin Laden obituary. Let's see which one was worse. The Huffington Post obituary on bin Laden or Rush. Let's see here. I can't find it. I can't find it. Let me see. No, well, they're liberals. They can't help it. They can't help themselves. Okay. HuffPost Osama bin Laden killed. Okay, let me see here.
Here comes Nina.
Hey, Nina. Nina's our dog. I'm trying to find their obituary. Let's see here. They say, well, here's one. This is a Huffington Post. Osama bin Laden and the morality of celebrating death. That's a more mild headline than they have on you could tell with this Rush headline, the Huffington Post, they're like celebrating. That's how sick they are. You know. You watch YouTube and Roku, and that's it. We have Roku, but it's, you know. Oh, do we have Roku?
Yeah, I love Roku.
Yeah.
Love the Roku.
Rush was the one thing that brought my dad and I together.
Wow.
Rush spoke his mind. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, Eric, I didn't understand what you meant before. Yeah, he did speak his mind. Liberals don't believe in God. They're godless. That's exactly right. Pelosi doesn't care, ripping up all those papers. You know, the thing about Pelosi, when she ripped up the State of the Union, you know what I'd like to know? How many times did she practice that day in her office?
Probably in the mirror.
Yeah, you know, and if you notice, if you go back and watch it, and I'll tell you how I know she practiced and how pathetic she did. She was separating the papers on her desk. She probably practiced, and she knew how many, you know, because of her old, feeble age and how weak she is, how many papers she could rip. Because she didn't want to rip it, because it's a thick speech. She didn't want to try to rip too many papers and not be able to rip it and be behind Trump trying to rip it and not being able to. So I think she did the separation so she knew she'd be able to rip it and then toss. So in her office, she practiced ripping and tossing. Her office must have been a mess. Pathetic. And she tore up, and think about it. That's the State of the Union when President Trump first talked about coronavirus and shutting down travel from China. Princess, I've been listening to you for a while now. I listen to you first thing in the morning. Good job, thank you. You watch twice a day. Thank you, thank you. Trump should speak at Rush's funeral. I'm sure he will. Yeah. Ripping all those papers should have been a crime. Well, those papers she ripped up was an official government document, because when he hands the speech, he gives a copy to the President of the Senate and a copy to the Speaker of the House. Those are official. That's an official constitutional requirement. The State of the Union doesn't have to be delivered in person on TV, but the President is required to deliver in writing the State of the Union to the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate. And when she ripped that up, she actually was ripping up official government documents. I am not originally from Florida, but my wife is.
Here comes the cat.
Yeah, my cat is from Florida. This is Sagwa. Yeah, we got her at the Humane Society. She loves us. Isn't she a sweet cat? Yes. It is a good. I know. She wants you guys on YouTube to pet her. She's rubbing up against the phone. Yeah, she's a great cat. Yeah, this is my private. The palm trees are. We're pretty close to the beach. Kathy and I were at the beach today when we heard about Rush.
Sandra called us.
Yep. You get up at 6 a.m. to start listening. Well, thank you, thank you. We have a fence behind the palms, but the palms will give us privacy from the people behind us. It was only copies? Maybe, maybe not. I grew up in Florida, but I'm not originally from here. You would think they would have already found someone to replace Rush and that Rush would have had input.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I would think.
It's nice out there, isn't it?
Your cat is beautiful. Yeah, she is. It's actually, this is our daughter's cat. But we're taking care of her. Yeah, you know, the reason I went over there by Mar-a-lago is because I thought most of you guys haven't really seen it. Well, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Summer heat and humidity, not too bad. No, it's nice. And our this is our Florida room, our back porch. And we've got, our roof is insulated for the sun. This light bulb here. Somebody asked about this light bulb. Let me show you guys. My wife got this light bulb from QVC. From in the kitchen with David. We watch it in the kitchen with David.
Yeah.
This light bulb's amazing. Okay, look at this.
Battery operated.
It's a battery operated light bulb.
Chargeable.
Yeah, and you recharge it in light sockets. Isn't that cool? And it's a great flashlight and everything. Yeah, these are awesome. We got a bunch of these.
It's got a hook, so you can hang it up.
Yeah, see, it comes with a hook so you can hang it up on things. Yeah, that's a pretty cool. See, you turn it off, turn it on. Pretty cool. In the kitchen with David. What's the name of my community? None of your business. You want my address too? Yeah. Yeah. Jeez.
We live in Mar-a-lago.
Yeah, Mar-a-lago. Yeah.
We live at the country club next to Trump.
You remember how everyone hated Rush for going after the Clintons? Yeah. Yeah.
Sandra Fluke, remember he called her Sandra.
Yes. Yeah. All my social media links are in the description of the video. You were born in Key West? Wow. That's unusual. I was just talking to Kathy about taking my daughter to Key West. She's never been to Key West.
I love Key West.
And
I haven't been since college.
yeah, I haven't been to Key West in a long time. We never found our other cat. No. Yeah, the theme music. Yeah, Rush has good theme music. Yeah. I could definitely take over. He woke up a lot of people to the truth. Well, you know, this sounds like kind of crazy, but Rush Limbaugh's success is in large part because of the Clintons. Because he was syndicated before Clinton was president, but that's when he exploded in popularity. Because he was out there going against the Clintons. I would, if Bill Clinton had not won that election and H.W. Bush had won re-election, I don't know. I don't think Rush would have become as big as he was. He was syndicated before the Clintons, but he became like a household name after the Clintons became president and co-president in '93. I wouldn't live in Key West either. There's two reasons not to live in Key West. They got to.
So nice.
It's beautiful. They got to evacuate in hurricane season every 5 minutes, and it's a town of drunks, because people go there to drink.
Like Ernest Hemingway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Ernest Hemingway. Yeah, I have not been down there. The Keys.
You and I have never been together.
To the Key. We've been to the Keys, but not to Key West. Rush makes $85 million a year. That's why I know they should hire me, and I'll do it for half that. And
Do it for a fifth.
yeah, yeah, it'd still be a slight raise for me. Yeah. You're a snowbird in Florida. You go back to Wisconsin in April. 71. That's when I was born. Wanted to thank you for showing the video clip of President's Day. Yeah. But you saw me on Right Side? Yeah, I did not know that I was in the background on Right Side Broadcasting. I really did not know. I went there. Well, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, from Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. I was talking to Mike Nificent I wanted to have Mike Nificent on the radio Monday on President's Day, but they were doing something on Right Side that he had to be at in the morning. He couldn't do it, and so I was talking to Mike Nificent. He was pretty cool.
He's good. I like him.
He's pretty cool. Yeah, people give him a hard time.
Why?
One of the things I like about Mike Nificent is he's not like, the black guy. You know what I mean? Like
It's
there's
not his identity.
yeah, his identity is like he's not
No.
he's not the black conservative
No, it's not his
or the
identity
black
at all.
right side broadcasting guy. He's
I
just
think
a
he's
guy.
good.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's very good. He's very
And
good.
you know what? He's not afraid to speak his mind.
I was surprised the who's the guy that owns Right Side Broadcasting was there. I've forgotten his name.
Brian something.
His name's Brian too, isn't it?
Yeah, he wears like the pink jacket.
And it was hot as hell, and he was wearing a suit basically. He was wearing a blazer and a dress, thing. And I was, and he doesn't live here. I live here, and if you watch the video at the end of the video, I'm like sweating when I'm at the beach at the end, and
You're gonna wear a sweatshirt.
yeah, and I was wearing a T-shirt.
Lots of birdies or everything.
Mar-a-Lago is never that busy. You usually just drive by and boom, 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 you're in, you're at. Security, the Secret Service and everything at Mar-a-Lago are really nice. They're used to people coming by, they talk to you and everything. I've never seen a turnout like that at Mar-a-Lago. Ever, ever, ever. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I was so glad that Don Jr. talked about it on Hannity because people didn't believe me. 50,000. And Don Jr. went on, he said tens of thousands, people coming by all day, Kate Brown, when I'm talking about the worst governors in the USA, the governor of Oregon, okay. I was sweating more, yeah. I was sweating. It was hot. Well, it was when I went to the beach, that was the beach down the street from, it was hard to find a parking space because so many people were down there. So I had to drive. I had the air conditioning on and everything, but there was so much traffic. I had like quarter of a tank of gas, and there aren't a lot of gas stations around Mar-a-Lago because all those rich people they send their cars out to get gassed up. You know what I mean? And I didn't have the air conditioning on the whole time because I was afraid that I'd run out of gas. I would say maybe more than 50,000, but 50,000 is a safe number. Mike Nificent is awesome. And he was very nice. He was very nice. And I talked to him there for a while. How do you live in Florida? It's too humid. When you,
Air conditioning.
yeah, we have air conditioning. I mean, you're not outside that much. You go from your air-conditioned house to your
No.
air-conditioned car.
A lot of people are outside.
Yeah. And if you go to the beach, there's a sea breeze. Once you live here, you don't notice the humidity like you would do. Like when I was a kid and I would visit Florida,
You get used to it.
I would feel it. Like I would get off the plane and it would be like you could
Yeah.
feel the air. But when you live here, you don't realize it. It's like people that live in Colorado don't notice that they're living so far above sea level, there's no
Yeah.
oxygen.
Yeah,
Like if I went to Colorado, I'd probably need oxygen.
yeah. Your body adjusts.
Don Jr. is great. Don Jr. has the best Instagram on Instagram.
He posts a lot of Facebook videos. He's been
Yeah.
posting a lot from Mar-a-Lago
Oh yeah,
this week.
this is definitely MAGA country. It definitely is. Well, I didn't live stream when I was there because there were so many people there. I wasn't sure I'd be able to get a signal. Right Side, they got a whole crew. They've got very high-tech equipment, and there was like a Trump bus there, and they were taking breaks and getting on the big bus. It's like a tour bus. Yeah. I'm not going to mention names. It's nobody that I've mentioned. No one I've talked about. But there's some people that I saw there that, oh yeah. There's some people that I saw there that are like regular Trump rally people. No one that I've talked about and no names I've mentioned, or no one that I've taken pictures with and put on Instagram or anything. So I don't want you guys, I'm not going to mention who though. But there's some people that I saw there that I've seen at Trump rallies. That travel around to all the Trump rallies. And some of them have gotten a little full of themselves. Like there was, like on my video, You saw the kids singing the Star Spangled Banner. Some of these regular rally goers went up to the people with the microphone because they had these big speakers and were asking them if they could speak and stuff. Yeah, yeah, and they didn't let them. They didn't let them. Yeah, but I don't want to say who because they may be. Yeah, that kid was good. He was like, Kathy said, compare him to David Hogg. You know what I mean? He was really good. He got interviewed by CBS News before he sang. He was wearing that velvet jacket. It was so damn hot. I don't know how he did it.
He's a young guy.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, he's a professional singer. You could tell he was very professional. And I wasn't right there when he started singing. I was kind of far away, and I wanted to get it on camera, so I had to run over there and start filming. But I'll tell you, when he sang the national anthem, everyone took off their hats and put their hand over their heart and everything else. Some guys were saluting, you know. Totally opposite of a liberal rally. Liberal events, they don't do that. They don't do that. Yeah. I don't know how he was wearing a velvet blazer and everything. And there was another guy there who, I don't know his name, but he's a MAGA rapper. And they announced that he was there right after that kid sang, and I thought, oh, cool, he's gonna lay out some beats, and he didn't. They played some of his music on the speakers, but he didn't do it live. I was hoping he would, but I heard I didn't catch his name, but I figure, how hard can it be to find a Trump MAGA rapper? So I'm sure. So, and they were playing some of his songs, and they were good. They were like, he beat the corona, all this stuff, It was pretty good. I was hoping he would
Trump
sing
is
live.
superhuman.
Oh yeah, he's like a member of the Justice League, or the Avengers or something.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So tough.
I need to do an interview on Right Side Broadcasting. Well, I was talking to someone from Right Side Broadcasting because what happened was I was talking to Mike Nificent, and then Laura Loomer came over and she was talking to me, and then they came up to they took Loomer away from me because they wanted to interview her, and then afterwards one of the Right Side people, they're like, well, who are you? Because Mike Nificent, Laura Loomer, who are you? Somebody said you're on the radio. And I started telling him, and the guy was like, okay, whatever. And then like 4 or 5 listeners came up to me and started talking. Oh, Brian. And then he got more interested. Got more interested. And this was somebody that's kind of known, and they didn't say anything to them. So so maybe I'll get lucky in the future on that. I'm not a camera hog, though. People think I'm a camera hog. I'm not a camera hog. I probably could have forced an interview upon them, but I'm not pushy that way.
It's so nice out.
It is nice out. Yeah.
Oh, it's nice and cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the one guy, I don't know his name. The other guy that's on Right Side Broadcasting, with Mike Nificent that was there, he is tall as hell. I saw him at the Trump rally.
He's in your
I went to
thumbnail.
him. Yeah.
I don't know. Who
Ryan in Kentucky. Hey, Ryan.
I didn't see Liz there. I was hoping Liz would be there.
Yeah, Liz Willis was not there. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to meet Liz Willis. I knew Mike Nificent was going to be there because I talked to him last week. Yeah. Yeah. But Mike Nificent has no ego. He's very cool. A lot of these people that are on YouTube and stuff, they get egos real quick.
I was hoping Scott Pressler was going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott Pressler would have been nice. Yeah. It is beautiful. Do you hear all the birds? Let's be quiet for a second. Listen. Can you hear the birds? We have a lot of birds here.
They all come down for the winter.
Yeah. I've not been to Culver's yet. I drove by there today. Culver's, it's that restaurant in Margate by Friendly Tire. I told you. Someone told me. You can hear yeah. We have all your birds, guys.
I'm not familiar with Margate.
Busch Gardens still in business, but I haven't been to Busch Gardens since before I was married. Yeah, Scott Pressler. We had Scott Pressler on the podcast. Yeah, we have So many birds here. We have cardinals that live here, blue jays, mourning doves. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blackbirds, pigeons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got an owl. Um, we basically we live in the, it's like we live in the tropical rainforest here.
We are about 2 miles from the Everglades.
Yeah.
There's otters.
Yeah.
I've seen otters. I've seen foxes.
We've got fox, gators,
possums.
Oh, we got everything.
We're like out in the Everglades.
Oh yeah, there's alligators. There's alligators.
But
Yeah.
the one thing I haven't seen, which I'm glad,
They're
is a
everywhere in
snake.
Florida.
I've not seen a snake.
I've seen
gators, but I've never seen.
Yeah, there's snakes too. Okay, I've seen snake skins around, but I haven't seen them.
I've seen snake skins.
Yeah, armadillos.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Florida, man. Florida's the tropics. It's like the rainforest.
They even had hyenas. Remember over, I don't know where they're.
Blue jays. Yeah, we have blue jays. I like the cardinals the best because being from Ohio, cardinal is the state bird of Ohio, and
They're beautiful.
every winter we get the cardinals come back here for years and years and years and years. They're here now. Geese?
No.
No geese. Ducks? We got ducks. No geese. Yeah. We got everything. You were in Fort Lauderdale a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. Not too far from where we lived. Went to high school there. I remember when we went on the cruise last year, we left out of Fort Lauderdale, and there were a lot of people were from up north. And they were like, it's so beautiful here. We're right off the Fort Lauderdale beach on the cruise ship, and we have our sail away champagne party on the bow of the ship. And I told them, I said, the beach is so beautiful. They're like, wow, this is amazing. And I said, my high school is right down the street from the beach. And they're like, you're kidding me. I was like, no, I went to high school. And they used to leave campus for lunch. And I said, we'd never go back. I mean, who's going to go back when your school's on the ocean? They don't let them leave anymore, I don't think. But they let us. I mean, how could you go back? Please.
We used to leave campus too. Everybody did back then.
Yeah. So, skip school a lot, but, the teachers let us slide.
At high school, all the kids would go to lunch and drink and have sex.
Oh.
Then come back to
But
school.
not you.
Never.
No.
Never. I was a good girl.
Yeah.
I was a good girl. But I knew people who did.
Kathy went to a different high school, but in the same town. Yeah. Do the alligators ever try to come into your home? The alligators are not.
Not our home, but they have come into people's homes.
They can't, but they're not that. Alligators leave you alone. The only time. But
You got to be careful of your dog and little kids, though.
Yeah, what happens with alligators, okay, with alligators and people. Most people that get attacked by alligators, we have a lot of lakes and stuff in Florida. And the people that get attacked by alligators usually are walking their dog. And what happens is there's a gator around, and the dogs go after the alligator. And the alligator attacks the dog, and the person tries to save their dog, and they end up getting bitten and pulled into the water. And the alligators don't eat you. They drown you, and then they put your body under something so it gets softened up for them to come back and eat you like the next day or something. Oh my gosh, Ryan, you go way back. You go way back. No, we do not have alligator skins for rugs. No.
I've eaten alligator, though. We eat alligator here. You can get it in
Oh, alligator's good. It tastes like chicken.
It's good. It's a little tough, but it's good.
I've hunted alligator when I was a kid. Hunted alligator. I wouldn't do it now, though.
How do you hunt an alligator? What do you, Steve Irwin?
You go out at night, and you use a light, and the light, their eyes turn red, and you shoot them.
Where?
Right between the eyes.
You can shoot an alligator between the eyes.
Anybody can. There's 2 dots. You just aim right between them, and that kills them.
How do you get them out of the water?
You go and pick them up and pull them in the boat. But a lot of people, they don't know what they're doing, and they'll shoot the alligator, but not between the eyes. And all you do then is knock it out.